Welcome back to the channel, and on this video we are going to get into our night 2 of the WrestleMania 41 predictions. Please like, share, and most importantly comment, and go back and watch my night 1 of the WrestleMania predictions. Let's start this night 2 predictions off with the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match. It will be Io Sky defending her title against Elimination Chamber winner Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Now, the story going into this match is a pretty wonky one, in my opinion. Io Sky beat Rhea Ripley after the Elimination Chamber because Rhea Ripley wanted to defend her championship. Well, granted Io a championship match. Bianca Belair won the Elimination Chamber. And so with Bianca Belair winning the Elimination Chamber, Io Sky picking up a really huge surprise victory on Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley just won the title in January on the debut episode of Raw on Netflix. And in my opinion, I thought Rhea Ripley would be a shoo-in to be champion going into WrestleMania. So when they did the pivot move of having Io win the title, I was really shocked. I didn't see Io picking up the win. If you go back on the channel, I had some things to say about Io and her star ability. Once again, I respect Io. I like what she could do in the ring, but in terms of her star power against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, I just don't see her up there in terms of that. The crowd does get behind Io. And it kind of proves my point the way she's being booked right now, because Io is being booked to be like this afterthought, you know, in a match with two stars, Bianca and Rhea. She's like the little sister to them. And the build to this match hasn't been good. We all thought we would get Rhea and Bianca. We end up getting what looked to be Io and Bianca. And these two do have history as far as damage control and stuff like that, right? But it looks like we're getting Io Bianca. Rhea just sticks her head in it, goes ballistic, signs her name on the contract and stuff like that. And it looks as though Rhea was going to be left out, but then they end up brawling and stuff like that. Adam Pearce ended up just, putting Rhea in the match anyway. And it's just been, the build to this has been really all over the place. And, it hasn't really been a strong build going into this one. So with my prediction for this, I feel like, in my opinion, Bianca Belair should win the championship, because there's more story for her coming out of the match than there is a Rhea or Io. Like I said, Io in the build in this match is not really being built as a strong champion. She's being built up as a little sister that both Rhea and Bianca could just push around. They keep slapping her and just pushing her around, So it's like Io retaining the title coming out of WrestleMania. I don't see it. Who can you really put up against her coming out of WrestleMania? Who's her contenders? On the other hand, Rhea Ripley, she lost the title very quickly, in about 2 months after just winning it against her heated rival, Liv Morgan. I feel like it's Bianca Belair's time. She was a tag champ. She helped build Jade up throughout the year and even last year. And it's time for her to get back on top of her game and be the top woman we know her to be. Also, like I said, you have a heel Naomi to pair her with, and also the Jade Cargill match that everyone wants to see. Now let's go ahead and get into those star ratings, right? My excitement and anticipation going into this match, it's not there. Honestly, the build hasn't been building, and it's been very sloppy, and it's just been like them doing contract signings and them doing promos, pushing around Io, Bianca complaining that Rhea Ripley is, using her power and stuff like that. Rhea has been complaining and throwing hissy fits, and that's not the Rhea Ripley we've come to know, right? She's been very dominant and stuff like that. So with that, I'll give it 1 star out of 5. Now, the performance and the quality of the match. Now, with that, I know that these three women could put on a great match, either one on one and it being a triple threat. I feel like we could see some great in ring action. I feel like the match could do justice to the poor build that we have been seeing. So with that, I'll give it 4 stars. Now, like I said, the rivalry has not been there. The only thing is like the Bianca EO stuff with damage control, but they're not really telling that story right now. So that's like a non-factor into this match. Rhea and Bianca, you know, the anticipation for their one-on-one match is still there, I guess, for most people. And I guess you could say the story of Rhea always losing to EO is still there, but it's not really strong, as maybe it could be. So with that, I'm going to give it 2 stars, and that is going to round it up to about 3 for me for this match. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think is going to win this match? This has been I Love Wrestling.